It's easy to feel buffeted by the social forces we see at play and amplified on every channel. A reaction to social activism is gaining momentum, with the button being pushed on mission protocol revolution. Some leaders might find temporary relief in a new sense of focus in the day-to-day. It is difficult to find lasting satisfaction and sustainability in a cancel culture that can seem like a parody of what it claims to be fighting. And yet, it's hard not to feel that something is being lost on all sides of the debate. There are moments when it seems like we're all about to become a lot poorer as a result. Can we find a third way? Can we develop a higher resolution of the challenges we face as a society that enables us to bridge our differences, distinguish our shared humanity, and begin building together? I'm Chris Chang, founder of Humaxis, coach, therapist, and facilitator of the Open Development Forums on Diversity and Inclusion. We know from neuropsychology that the world performs, in part, by the way in which we preconceive it. If we believe we're in a fight, we'll inevitably find ourselves in a battle with a real enemy. If we believe we hold in ourselves the seeds of tomorrow, we'll find ourselves cultivating new potentials. Zero-sum games lead only to temporary winners and losers. Rigid structures of organizing lead to rigid thinking. Our world gets smaller, faster. If we see something that needs to be torn down, we shouldn't be surprised if all we're left with is rubble. How do we develop new, creative, more flexible ways of relating to one another? How do we move beyond the polarity and constant crisis to shared and generative meaning making? Rather than dismantle and demolish, let's renovate. Let's widen the room to include more voices. Let's rewire and replumb so that energy and resources move through the system more efficiently and effectively. Let's learn the skills required to connect people of infinite diversity in infinitely creative ways to solve our most complex challenges of sustainability and survival. Our futures might depend on it. A higher resolution situates us at the sense-making intersection of psychology, biology, sociology, and technology, and begins to liberate new data and information about our current systems of relating to one another. In this new world, emotions can begin acting as a fiat currency, allowing us to discover where we're stuck in the same old conversations, the same old perspectives. It helps us see the embedded fragility of a system shaped by historical trauma and systemic manipulation by interests whose sole purpose is to maximize the monetary value they can extract from the turmoil they themselves create. A higher resolution allows us to develop new ways of seeing, new ways of validating our perceptions, and new ways of acting, so that we can get unstuck, shift, and support the emergence of something new. Emotions help us see new signals in our systems of relationship so that we can work with them, unfold them so that these forces that are derailing us are no longer invisible. Emotions become the functional currency of change and transformation. When we look through this combined lens of the bio, psycho, social, techno continuum, the way the world occurs to us begins to shift fundamentally. What begins to emerge from this work is a new sense of possibility, collaboration, a liberated sense of self in concert with an expanded sense of shared purpose. The work is challenging. It's unpredictable, even scary at times. And yet it's deeply satisfying when people begin to see the potential for new and positive action begin to emerge. At the intersections of psychology and biology, We establish what it means to feel safe and secure in each of our humanity, and how this will conflict or harmonize in social engagement. We develop a heightened perception of the role trauma is playing in our work environments and what we do about this. We cultivate an appreciation for the vulnerability that exists in all corners of this debate. Moving from the individual to the collective, we learn to harness collective sense-making tools that allow us to begin developing the psychological contracts necessary and prerequisite for moving forward, for moving towards greater diversity and inclusion and managing in increasingly complex and stressful contexts. With the means of improved sense-making now at our disposal, we're ready to move with uncommon velocity of creativity, more purposeful collaboration, and able to embrace data and information in a way that invites others into a shared endeavor, a foundation of true allyship. If you want to advance diversity and inclusion, start with the most elemental constructs of our humanity. Our sense of identity, our sense of physiological well-being, our individual and collective purpose, and how these translate into the liberating structures and systems of collaboration. More than just ideas and slogans. It's about what we can feel most deeply inside our bodies and bring forth into the everyday of our self-expression and listening. This work doesn't promise the eradication of misfits and malcontents. We need new tools of relating to ourselves, to each other, to the world we share. Why else will we do anything different than what we're already doing and getting results that are any different than what we're already getting? Can we begin to imagine that there are missing pieces to the puzzle of human relations? That there are ways of organizing ourselves that transcend and include our very best natures, of standing in the positive potential we hold for each other, that we can pivot from where we are today to a promise for future generations of a better tomorrow. And if we can do this, then perhaps together we stand a chance that tomorrow will begin performing better than today, that we know our commitment to the world is in standing together now.